Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. 11 minutes past the hour on this second day of December, Tuesday in full effect. Tell the truth Tuesday on hashtag truth told slash JD Live. Your early morning get up, wake up. Yo, information, inspiration, motivation, yo, conversation that promotes elevation. And all I can say is, brrr, it's cold in here. Must be some truth sayers in the atmosphere. I said, brrr, it's cold in here. Must be a brother who knows how to read like no other. I got my residential Lamar Burton because I ain't never by myself. I always find a little help from my friends. The family, y'all put your hands together. You know them from the Griot Podcast, the Sean P Experience. It's none other than my brother from another mother, Sean P himself. Sean P, what's happening, big?
Hey Joe, when your born eyes had a little head like this on eyes, the
Yeah.
African brother. But what's going on, man? On the serious note, how y'all doing, man? I'm glad to be back on the Joe Dupree Morning Show, man. You know what I'm saying? Truth be told. And today I got Miss Mary McLeod Bethune, Joe, the Pan-Africanist, interviewing the author today at 6 o'clock p.m. Y'all gotta check this book out, man. The Pan-Africanist, Mary McLeod Bethune, an amazing read, my brother.
Hey, family. Put that book back up again, Sean. Put it back up. Just put it back up for a minute. Family, if you ever, and anybody who knows anything about HBCUism, because it is a HBCUism, make your way down to Daytona Beach, not for Bike Week, but if nothing else, just to go by Bethune-Cookman University and visit that great institution. I had the awesome opportunity this year to be there as we took on the Wildcats of Bethune-Cookman, and you get to see a lot about that great woman right there. I visited her home that was on campus, and you'll get to see a lot, man. A lot of great history down there about how this lady said, if you won't educate us, I'll educate us ourselves. And sometimes that's what you got to do. You got to do either A or B. You either got to find a way or you got to make a way. Oh, on this Tell the Truth Tuesday, I think 14 minutes past the hour, that's what we're going to go into. See, as we go out of 2025 and begin to make our way into 2026, I would like to put this on everyone's mind and heart that there's either one or two things you need to do. You either need to make a way or find a way. And if you can't find a way, figure out somehow to make it happen. And a lot of us, especially black and brown folks, been doing that all our lives. We know how to make $1 out of 15 cents.
And you know what, Joe? This is why it's so empowering reading, right? The more I read biographies and memoirs and autobiographies, she was like the granddaughter of some slaves, man.
Mm-hmm.
Her whole family wasn't reading and writing like that, bro. And look what she overcame to do what she did. So many of our ancestors were up against things way mightier than we up against right now. And like you said, they found a way. There was no excuse. No excuse was acceptable. We're going to do this by hook or by crook, they would say.
Yes, sir.
And we become too much like a little bit resistance. Ah, Joe, and I tried to send an email and I tried to make the phone call and shut the door in my face. I couldn't get in the back room. Like, there's too much of that going on, man.
Man, I forgot what movie it was, but the brother said, I remember Eddie Murphy in one movie said, yeah, you're soft. S-O-F-T, soft. You know, listen, y'all. We are the proud descendant of those who either A, found a way, or either B, made a way. So don't you ever look yourself in the mirror and say, I can't. You come from a long line of descendants that said, yes, you can. And we really got to get back to the yes, you can spirit amongst ourselves. We got to get to a place, Sean, in my humble opinion. That's why I always watch the Griot podcast. That's why I watch the Sean P Experience, because you bring on great authors, great writers, great folks who put on paper stories about us, stories, even non-fictional stories and fictional stories that will take us to places that make me know that we have so much in us. There's so much creativity. There's so much beauty in being black and brown. Don't let folks make you feel like the only thing we can do is get government assistance, make a lot of babies, and be fatherless children, because that's not what we do. That's not what we do. We are in no shape, form, or fashion great men and women doing great things. And we are innovators. We are inventors. We are creators. And you know, be proud.
So,
And
so Joe,
James Brown
as a
say it
storyteller,
loud. Come on, be
as
black and
a
not
story,
proud. Talk to me, Sean.
yeah,
Talk to
yeah,
me.
yeah. As a storyteller, you are. What you tell the audience and myself, what's the importance of us controlling our narrative, controlling our stories, our tales, as our ancient Griots always have done? What's the importance of controlling that right now to
Well,
you?
right now, I think if anything, we just discovered with the government shutdown that just occurred, it was the longest government shutdown in history. And so quickly are we to forget what had occurred when it occurred. For those of us who were dependent on the government, we come to find out again that if they are feeding you, they could also starve you. And you have to control your own narrative, because if you allow them to do whatever they do, they control your destiny. They control your destiny. And somewhere in a great book that everybody seems to bring up when they need to kind of justify whatever they're doing or whatever they're saying or whatever money they're making, it says in there that no one should be the controller of your destiny but you. You should order your footsteps by a certain word. But you should order, not someone else should order your footsteps. You should order your footsteps. And in other words, you need to stop telling people to tell you where to go, what to step, what to wear, what to do. You should say, I will decide who I am and what I do.
And Joe, to keep this going, the power of a narrative, right? Before Bayou Classic this past weekend, we talked about ICE being in New Orleans, right?
Yes, sir.
Now I talked to a certain person, they were adamant, showing we ain't got nothing to worry about. You're not focused on us, they ain't bothering us, we all good. Now, Joe, there were multiple people having videos. A post office worker was bothered by ICE. This
Uh-huh.
guy's at work in uniform, just working. He got hemmed up by ICE, a brother like us.
Yes, sir. So so
So
so
misinformation made some folks think we exempt, we all good, we gonna party like it's 1999. It ain't never all good for us, Joe.
no,
When has
sir.
it ever been all good for us? When has it ever been all good for us, Joe?
No, sir. So let me
Come
say,
on, man.
let me say as much as I can say without saying too much. Let me breathe for a second and see how I'm gonna fashion. Okay. When it comes down to the current deportation operation that is going on in South Louisiana and Southern Mississippi, this operation called Operation Swamp Sweep that was welcomed to the state of Louisiana by the governor of Louisiana and the Louisiana legislature. If anything, right now, family, I can't talk about what they've done. I can talk about what you did, because you helped vote these people into office. Elections matter. Your vote matters. And you sitting on the sideline not voting is voting. Let me say that again. You sitting on the sideline saying my vote don't count. They're going to do what they want to do. You not voting is voting. You're voting for whoever they put in office to do whatever they feel like they need to do. Because guess what? People who are voting into office will only uphold and make good to those who put them in office. So, in other words, if you're not voting and you want your concerns to be heard, they're not concerned about you. You didn't put them in office. You didn't hire them. You're not their boss. You don't vote. So, with that being said, family, we got to wake up, because no, ain't nobody safe in this Operation Swamp Sweep. In Operation Swamp Sweep, if they suspect that you may be an illegal alien, they will harass the hell out of you until you prove to them otherwise.
Now, Joe, to the average consumer just walking around, You, myself, and another brother, how could they tell if any one of us are Haitian, Dominican,
They can't.
Colombian?
They can't.
We're in so many hues and phenotypes globally. How could you just tell? Oh, he
They
from
can't.
Louisiana. He good. He from
They
here. He
can't.
good.
They can't. And I only say that loosely because I do know more than the average bear. But if and they should not be profiling folks because the last time I checked, and listen, I have the information. Last time I checked in the state of Louisiana, there are a lot of folks here that are not black and brown that are illegal as the day is long. There are a lot of people of Asian descent that are here that are illegal as the day is long. There are a lot of people here of European descent who came here on student visas to go to LSU, Louisiana Tech, to Tulane, whose student visas have expired and they are still here and are illegal as the day is long. But when you see, once again, it's like SNAP benefits during the government shutdown. There are more Caucasian folks on SNAP benefits than there are black folks, but I didn't see one interview with Caucasian folks talking about how do you feel about losing your SNAP benefits. And when I did see an interview, it was how do you feel about the food insecurities and the failure of the government to keep their promise to you to feed you. See, the narrative and words change when the hue of the skin changes. That's the difference between refugees and evacuees during Katrina. How can I be a refugee in a country that I am a natively born person in? Go ahead,
And
Sean.
again, mathematically, if we're only 13 to 14% of the population, that's what they say. Wouldn't that mean mathematically, when it comes to this conversation, it would be more of these other people that are likely to be not from here than us? Just based on mathematics. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a genius on math. I'm good with words. I'm not really a
I
math
am,
reader.
I am Sean. Really, just I don't even find the words sometimes of the level of it's a good bad scenario when I needed to be a good bad scenario to make my point look good or make your point look bad. All of a sudden we've got to be tough on crime. In the urban inner cities, these crime and these criminals are going crazy. However, hold it, and we've got to be tough on drugs. And Venezuela is bringing in all this poison, so let's do another strategic strike on these boats and all this, all this. But however, when everything is turned around and it shows up in your neighborhood, see, tough on crime and drugs becomes we have an opioid crisis when it shows up in little Billy and little Jane's room and they're Caucasian. See, it goes from being tough on to we have a crisis and we need to hold these pharmaceutical companies responsible to we need to lock up all these black and brown drug dealers. See, look how the conversation changes. Go ahead, Sean.
No, I'm rocking with you. That's like back in the 80s and the 90s, right? The war on drugs. Y'all just had a war on certain drugs? The war on drugs. I was a kid back then. You tell me, Joe. Was the war on drugs this certain drugs?
Well, like I said, when it is something happening in black and brown communities, all of a sudden it is horrendous. It is horrific. It is something that white America needs to be scared of. Yeah, your kids. Remember that scene in Training Day when Alonzo was riding with Officer Hoyt and the white kids went into the black community. Why did they go into the black community? They went into the black community to get some drugs. See, that's the only reason the white kids come from the suburbs to the hood to get some drugs, have it being portrayed in the movies and in conversation. When the truth about it is, a lot of white folks come to the hood to get culture. A lot of white kids come to the hood to get their swagger on. That's why when you see a person like Jason Dart, who's a quarterback in the NFL, he chained up and dapping folks up and even got Cam Newton when they say, hey man, hey man, ain't that man trying to imitate you? Cam says it's better to be imitated and duplicated than not vindicated. Oh, let me say that again. So when you imitate me and duplicate me, all you did was vindicate me. You made me
But
know
back
that
to
what I do is real for real for real. Go, Sean.
yeah, back to history with the Harlem Renaissance, for an example. All these rich people from other parts of New York, they gonna spend their nightlife in Harlem to go to our eateries, our pool halls, Cotton Club, our jazz, you name it. They want to get down with our ladies.
Mm.
Uh-huh. They want to get down with our little night scene and then scurry on off in the morning time and go back to, the high rise and all that. They've always done this, man.
Well, I have to always tell folks, got to pay attention. That's why I say that constantly. Pay attention. You can go back to the second president of the United States of America, and I'm pretty sure there's some with the first president. Thomas Jefferson was in love with a black slave, a black woman. A lot of white men are in love with black women, and a lot of black men are in love with white women. To be exact, let me tell you why the black man is probably the most hated man on this planet. Because no matter what your race is, and speaking about ICE and deportation, don't nobody hate black men more than Mexican men, Hispanic men. I ain't never saw as much hate as I see between Hispanic men and black men, black and brown. Black, be exact, Hispanic men who are black and brown. One of the reasons they don't have no slaves in Mexico is the first president that was black and Mexican said, we ain't having no more slaves. You ain't slaving black and brown folks no more. See, you got to understand, there are people of Hispanic descent that are white also. And that's another thing that makes me laugh. That even in local government here in the great city of Lafayette that we live in, you have people that have Hispanic last names that are Caucasian that only use their Hispanic last name when they need government help. Oh, now I'm a minority. I'm 1% Indian. I'm 2% Indian, Native American. You've got to help my poor oppressed folk.
Let me ask you a question, Joe. Have you ever did your DNA before, Joe? The DNA test? Any kind. They got so many out there.
I did, sir, and I actually right now just received, and I'm gonna have to post it on social media. I just don't put all my business out there. I am 9% Scottish, and I have already sent a letter to the royals of Scotland, just like white folk here who all of a sudden find out they 2% Indian say, I want mine. I done sent a letter to Scotland saying, hey, I believe I have some royal Scottish blood, and I would like to meet my people, and I want what is due to me.
But the reason why I raised that is I'm more than sure if a lot of these other folks did their DNA test and find out what's all in that bloodline, boy, it could be from sick people, Joe. They're gonna be sick when they find out when they get when they come in the mail, they're gonna
Right.
be sick, Joe.
Right.
They're gonna be
Right.
sick.
I'm a proud one of the things when I did my DNA that made me very proud is that I come from the Bantu people, the Bantu, Bantu. And I can see that. I see that. It's funny when you begin to do what Sean tells you to do every time. Sean tells you to come on here. Stop, stop listening to other folks and read it for yourself. When you get books and you begin to read about a certain group of folk and you find out that you are a lineage of those folks, you start looking at some of your characteristics. Until I did my DNA test and found out that I was a part of the Bantu people, I now see where I get a lot of the things I do. Because if you read books about the Bantu people, you'll find out that the Bantu people were explorers. They had no problem leaving where they were at, going somewhere else and beginning to start all over again. Sometimes you got to know from whence you came to know where you're going. And if you don't know who you are, how in the world can you tell somebody else who you are? Brother Sean?
And they have different levels of DNA tests. I want to invest in the African DNA
Mm-hmm.
test where they go real fine tuned with that thing, go real, not just an overall region, but they go real detailed into.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I highly recommend for Christmas, a lot of these DNA tests are on sale during this holiday season. And for those of you who don't celebrate the holidays, I ain't mad at you. Because once again, the narrative of the story that you are celebrating. Understand, for those who know about the Cushites and the empire of Kemet, you will come to find out that this Jesus story we tell has and was long before Jesus story came out, told before. I ain't gonna say
You
too
know,
much more.
even
I don't
even
want to see. I got a lot of pastors on here and a lot of folks that hallelujah. I don't need none of y'all in my inbox or in my phone today because I'm going to the gun range and I need to be focused and not angry because y'all done said some stuff that I'm like, you ignorant slave mollywop bull frackernackle believe in anything that they tell you. Man, listen, it's hard for me. It's hard. Be exact. One of the things that will turn me around at the door is walking into any house of worship, and the first thing I see hanging on the wall is a picture of white Jesus. I know right then and there I'm at the wrong place at the wrong time.
and beyond what you believe or not, man, just embrace the gathering and the presence of your loved ones. Not physical presence, but the presence of your loved ones. Let's amplify that, man. You know,
Yeah,
tomorrow my birthday, right? I'll be 44, thank God, right? And like, you know, as you know, Joe, as you get older, you lose more people, family, classmates, you name it. The phone calls become more and more, man, so and so passed. So as that's happening every holiday season, you might not see some of these faces next year.
right,
So now to believe, let's appreciate that for whatever it is.
right. Well, Brother Sean, tomorrow we gonna on Work It Out Wednesday, we gonna have a celebration. Should you be able to come on? And I pray that you are, because like I said, once again, a lot of folks ask me, what is hashtag truth be told JD
I'm gonna
Live?
be here.
It is, I'm gonna tell y'all, and a lot of y'all, some of y'all know this song, some of y'all don't. I'm a big old school roller skater from the 70s and the 80s. I consider this podcast the double Dutch bus. I run a route. I run a bus route in the morning. And I pull up to certain bus stops. I pull up to a bus stop called the Griot Podcast, the Sean P Experience. That's one of my stops on my bus route. And when I pull up there, sometimes when I open the door, guess who jumps on? Sean P. And Sean daps me up as I'm driving the bus, and I dap Sean up, and Sean gets on, and we take a ride and we talk about stuff that is prevalent to us, that we believe is prevalent to the community. Me riding on the bus, I stop at another stop called Positivity Pimping. And I open up the door, and every once in a while, one Alethea Crimmins jump on the bus, and we have conversation and we laugh. But I have a bus route I run. And sometimes when I open up the door at that bus route, there ain't nobody there to jump on. Because that's the day that they got other stuff to do. See, this is nothing but a vehicle. And guess what? My route is a big route. I run all over not only the United States, but I go to other countries. My bus route is a big route. I pull up to Berlin, Germany, and grab open the door, and Broken Berlin jumps on, and we laugh about what black folks are dealing with in the country of Germany, in Deutschland. And I drive to South Africa. I drive all over the place. So here's the thing. Should you want to get on my bus route, all you got to do is let me know. Oh, I'll stop and open up the door. You can jump on and we can talk as much as you want to. Now, with that being said, 35 minutes past the hour. Brother Eddie Barnett in the building. Good morning, Brother Barnett. Go ahead, Brother Shaw. Go ahead.
I want to share something with the family right quick, man. If Joe even remember this, probably 8-9 years ago, man. At Black Cafe, I would see Joe all the time at the illustrious downtown Lafayette. Go check him out, Black Cafe. And Joe be in there doing his own thing. I'm always in the corner reading or whatever. But I would watch Joe's show way back then, and I would always just hope and wish to one day get a chance to be on the Joe Dupree morning show. I was always just admiring the brother from afar, man. And he just said it, and it's true. Like, I don't know why when I walked up to Joe the first time, he gave me the green light. I can't explain why to this day, but 9 years later, here we are, still getting on the bus, man. He's real, man. You just approach
Hey,
him and ask him, respectfully or whatever, he will open up the mic.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey,
he did that for me.
you ain't even really got to do that, Sean. Sean, you just got to tell me, and it ain't got to be a really. The here's the thing, Sean. I can say this because once again, I have been a fake BSing, try to be want to be pimp, try to be cool daddy o, try to think I was the flavor for all the ladies. I done did all that. So I done been all the bullshit I need to be in my life. I woke up one day and I realized that a lot of folks that I admire were full of bullshit. Really. Their persona to the world was, oh, look at me. Here I am. I done met pastors that were bigger pimps than pimps in the streets. They were just pimping in a different place than the
Pimping the
pimps were pimping.
pulpit. Pimping the pulpit.
The pimps had the host role. They had the pulpit and the pews, and they were pimping hard. And I said, wait one damn minute here. Everybody fake. You looking at me talking about get your life together, get real, hold it. Wait a minute. You up in here telling me get myself together, and you hitting all this up in it, man, please. Then I realized folk will give you the personification that they need to give you to make you feel a certain way, when the truth about it is nobody knows where the nose goes when the doors close. Oh, ooh,
Joe.
let me hit you. Since y'all want some preparation today, let me give it to you 37 minutes
Joe.
past the hour.
I love the
Nobody
quote.
know
Yeah.
where the nose
Those
goes
goes.
when the doors close. Oh,
Yes,
okay.
Lord. Yes,
So,
Lord.
shine in my spirit out of all the bullshit I've done in my life, and that I said, Lord, let me get this right. Because I have to remember sometime who I really am, Sean. At 38 years old, on the second day of December, I have to remind myself that I was born on June the 22nd, 1967, and my mother did not birth me in a hospital. My mother was so upset with my grandmother that I was possibly the child of one of my grandmother's relationships. So my grandmother was like, the man sleeping with me is sleeping with my daughter. No, we got to get rid of this evil seed right here. So my grandmother and mother was so convinced that I was the product of one of my grandmother's boyfriends sleeping with her daughter that I got birthed in the back of a kitchen. My umbilical cord was severed with an old rusty butcher knife. I was wrapped in a newspaper in an old coat, and I was thrown underneath a dilapidated house to die. So hold it. I used to say this, but then God corrected me a few days ago. I used to tell everybody every day after day one has been a blessing to me. God said, stop lying to folks, Joe. That's why they sometimes say, Joe don't tell a lot of the truth, because you're not telling the truth. No, after your first second, every minute, every hour, every day, every week, every month, every year was a gift. Because your first second of breath should have been your last second of breath. And
So
it
you
wasn't.
on borrowed time for real. Borrowed
Sir,
time, man.
every moment you take a breath of air on this side is a gift from me. And you have squandered that gift a great deal bullshitting. So now you got to make up for a lot. And you got a very little time to make it up because you got more years behind you than you do in front of you. Okay. So when I meet great men like Sean P., and there ain't a man or a woman I ain't met, black or brown, I don't care. I met hoes in the street, pimps on the corners, hustlers in the alley. They all were great men and women. They just didn't know it because their gift, just like my gift, when it was being exploited and misused, and I didn't know who I was or whom's I was, they weren't who they really thought they were. They were just being who y'all wanted them to be. And when I meet great men and women, no matter what situation they in, I done met some great homeless men and women who don't have a roof over their head, a pot to piss in, or a window to throw it out of. But they have been greater than some politicians and some law scholars that I have sit around and had some very dignified conversations with. We are all great. Many of us are misguided, used, and abused, and have not found ourselves. Somewhere along this journey, I found self. That's why now I can sit in the monks the lions in the lion's den, those who have talked about me, used me, abused me, those who wish nothing good to me, I can sit amongst them like Daniel and look at them and know y'all a bunch of raw, but y'all ain't biting shit.
It said,
And
see
I
you to
can,
the jungle, come back with the chinchilla, Joe. Come back with the
hey,
chinchilla.
right. I can
Yeah.
sit around them and say, now I see why Daniel felt good in the lion's den. Because Daniel knew who he was and whom's he was. And when you know who you are and whom's you are, one of my favorite commercials, let me go back to this weekend. One of my favorite commercials, and I kept telling folks that in the beginning, never underestimate an underdog. And when I was at the bicycle, and folk were like, man, Southern about to get their clock clean. It made me no difference because I have walked the campus and attended classes at Grambling State University. I have worked for Southern University now going on my 17th year. So either way it goes, either the school I attended wins or the school that cuts me a check wins. Either way it goes, Joe wins. So Sean, I was there and I said, never underestimate the heart of a champion. And guess what? I saw a great game with great teams, but the underdog won. And see, that's our problem. We count folks off far too quick in our society. David and Goliath. Oh, David, I don't know what the hell David doing stepping up here. Man, do you see this army of Israel that cannot beat this uncircumcised Philistine? And this little boy stepping up front with 3 smooth rocks? What the hell he gonna see? It's not so much that David stepped out and whooped Goliath's ass. It's so much the people behind him, some of them naysayers that were like, man, who this little man? Man, do you see all this armor and sword I got on and this fool stepping out with a slingshot and some rocks? Okay.
You know
When
what,
King
Joe?
Leonidas looked at the spot, hold it. King Leonidas, once again, they try to tell you about white folks. You better go and look at the black Greeks. See, they don't want to tell you that Leonidas was black, but they want to, like Cleopatra, they want to show you Liz Taylor. I'm going to tell you who the real Leonidas was. So the
Hey,
real
Joe,
Leonidas,
tell
when he got
about
his
Hannibal.
people.
Hannibal
Okay.
of Carthage. Tell him about
Okay.
Hannibal.
Okay. Hannibal, who came with the elephants and said, I'm about to shut this thing down. See, let me tell you something.
Joe,
Y'all so busy trying to find out about George
Joe.
Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and Ben Franklin. Y'all don't know about folk like that. See, watch this. I can't know more about the ops than I know about myself. See, that's why we lost. We lost because black men and black women are too busy teaching their children about the ops instead of teaching them
Joe,
about themselves.
let me get this right. We fussing with these folks about Beyonce and the whole cowboy Carter thing, right? This man was over here domesticating elephants, Joe. Forget horses. The man domesticating giant elephants over the mountains.
Hold it. Forget Siegfried and Roy.
Man. What are we talking about, Joe?
Right. Forget Siegfried and Roy. Forget the white tiger. That's why I ain't a big fan of Jackson State and they white tiger. Because guess what? The only white tiger I ever saw was Siegfried and Floyd. I don't see no real white tigers. See, them white tigers are lab-made white tigers. See, I need to deal with some real tigers. That's why.
Not the GMO tiger.
Hey, all I gotta say is this. With that being said, y'all might get ready for the SWAC championship. For those of you who do like black college football, the SWAC championship is going down this weekend in Jackson, Mississippi. Now, I love the MI crooked letter I. One of my favorite cities to parlay in and to hang out in is Jackson, Mississippi. Be exact, if you go to Jackson this weekend, I'm giving you a shameless plug right now. Go to Johnny T's. Go to Johnny T's downtown. If you ever are in the great city of Jackson, Mississippi, go to Johnny T's. Tell them Joe Dupree sent you there. Go in the back, smoke you a cigar if you're a cigar smoker. If you're not a cigar smoker, go up front and get you a great meal. The chef is outstanding. If you want to shake your ass, take your ass upstairs. The youngsters go upstairs and shake their ass. The brothers downstairs, they listening to some Al Green. That's what I love about Johnny T's. Upstairs, you hear some whatever they do, Wap Beezy. I don't know all these folks. You hear all these youngsters. But downstairs, you might hear some Al Green. You might hear some.
So it's a multicultural situation. Sound like
it's a beautiful place. because a lot of folks don't know there are more folks per capita who are black and brown in the city of Jackson, Mississippi, than any other city in the United States of America. That is the real chocolate city. I know we always try to give it to Detroit or try to give it to Washington, D.C., or we try to give it to Atlanta, but no, per capita, ain't no more place on this planet got more black folks than Jackson, Mississippi. Big ups to my people at WJMI and Shelly B, because Shelly B said it shall be done. So when you go there, listen to WJMI 99 Jams. Go to Johnny T's. Tell them Joe Dupree sent you. They got a place. I ain't big on swine like that, but they got a place for y'all. Those of you who want a nice little, they got what they call the world famous pig ear sandwich. I don't eat that, but guess what? For those who do, just inbox me. I'll tell you where to go. It is 47 minutes past the hour. Sean P's birthday is tomorrow, and I want to educate y'all today on some things. Stop telling your children about the ops and tell them, put that book up, Sean P. See, wait a minute. If you telling them about Martha Stewart, I said it, Martha, because we quick to bring a white person into our situation because Snoop done made Martha famous. Y'all tell her about Martha, but you ain't told them about Miss, what that lady name again? Give her the lady name one more time, Sean.
Mary McLeod Bethune.
Okay.
Mary McLeod Bethune, man.
Right. If you don't tell, if your kids know more about Martha Stewart than they do Miss Bethune, Houston, we have a problem. See, that's y'all problem. Y'all too busy trying to tell our children about the ops. But you too busy trying to tell our children about what, and let me say something about this. And look, don't get mad. Just know that history is undefeated. Cleopatra was not the coldest woman in Egypt. You better talk about Nefertiti for a minute. So we don't want to go. See, when you let them tell you what beauty is, and let me say this, I know why they said Cleopatra was so fine, and they wanted you to believe Cleopatra was so fine. Because Cleopatra, a lot like these women down here in South Louisiana. See, Cleopatra was a light-skinned queen. So since she was light, bright, and almost white, we're going to make her the standard of beauty. But no, the Egyptians say the most beautiful queen that ever walked in Egypt was Nefertiti. Okay, go read
now,
about
Joe,
that. Go ahead, Sean.
With that being said, the journalist Torre, Torre, the brother Torre, on Instagram and TikTok, he got a whole series he doing about people that's white passing. People that you thought was white, but they wasn't really white.
Passe.
But they passed.
What they call it down here? Passe blanc. Passe blanc. Hold it. You got to understand, you had passe blanc people down here in Louisiana back in slavery days and owned slaves because they look white. So, and guess what? They'll even tell you when you talk to those slave owners that slave ownership amongst your own people was a little bit different than slave ownership to a real white person. That's
that hidden history.
Right.
That's the other layer. This is the PhD class.
Right.
This is the 500 class.
Right. This is the class that have your head scratching. Man, speaking of which, let me give a shout out to my professor, Professor Dunleavy. He told me from time to time he and I don't look at all the folks who are just looking. I do see the folks that do click on. Big ups to my professor who is helping me better understand this path to receive my doctorate degree. And let me say this to a lot of folks. I need to say this because all you're going to do is get me and Sean this month. Starting the 1st of next year, I won't be on until June, July. To be exact, we won't come back until June, 1 month before Essence. I'm going to be gone. The bus is going to be in service, getting some new wheels, new paint job, a lot of new stuff, but we'll be back in June. You're going to get us for the month of December. This is our Christmas gift for all of you. So, Dr. Dunleavy, let me say this, and let me say this as my gift to everybody out there. It's never too late. Dr. Dunleavy talked to me yesterday, called me personally. I was taking care of some stuff at work, and he told me, I'm proud of you that at age 60, you'll be receiving your doctorate degree, that you will be hooded Dr. Joe Anderson, and you are well deserving of it. And it brought tears to my eyes to hear, because Dr. Dunleavy is damn near 80. But he told me he is proud that I decided to deal with his mouth, these lectures, and this gauntlet called the pursuit of my doctorate degree in criminal justice, because he said one day you'll be able to look your grandchild in the eye. He said, if you live to see your great grandchild, you'll be able to look them in the eye and say, don't ever let them tell you what you can't do or when you need to do it. Be the captain of your own ship and set your destination and go.
That's important, Joe. You know, every degree I got, I put it on the mantle right in the living room. You got to pass by it 1,000 times a day. So your subconscious mind, whether you want to or not, you got to pass by the degree. So my 3 kids, they know this the ground floor. This the basement. It's nothing but going on top of that after this. Every single graduation, my kids got to be at graduation. You got to see it, witness it, see the hood, and see all of that. I wanted to be in your subconscious mind possibility. That's real storytelling. That's real controlling the narrative. Back to that. This is it.
I'm already got some folks laughing because and they're really laughing. A lot of folks don't know when I take my doctorate pictures, and I'll be taking them next year. If the Lord say the same, if I keep living, I graduate next year in August. But next year when I take my pictures, I did something, and Dr. Dunleavy has said that's how you do it. As I ordered my robe and my hood and all my accessories, I ordered a matching set for my grandson. So when I put the hood on my head, I'm going to put the hood on his head. And I'm going to ordain him. I'm going to ordain him right there. Forget what the schools say. Forget what the system say. As I get hooded by the system, I, being his direct descendant and the bloodline, I'm going to crown him and say, guess what, Dr. J? I'm calling it right today. I'm calling it before you even show up in pre-K. I'm calling it before you show up in elementary. I'm calling it before you show up in high school and before you show up in higher institutions of learning. I'm calling it right now when you still goo-goo and got God and all you can say is yalla and papa and mama and dada. I'm saying right now, Dr. J, I'm crowning you with greatness because you come from a lineage of those who either did one or two things. They either found a way or they made a way. Oh, look, y'all. Okay.
Joe, let's talk about the importance of being a visionary, the part of setting the tone, setting the dream. If there's a certain call you want, go to the call line, sit inside that thing, touch it, feel it, make it tangible. If there's a certain place you want to go to, a certain house you want, walk in that thing, walk around, look for a screensaver, do all that to your mental. So what you doing with that story, I co-sign that, bro. That's important.
Hey, brother. You can't achieve it unless you see it and you believe it. That's the problem. A lot of y'all keep telling yourself what you can't do. See what happens when you start telling yourself what you can do. Because guess what? The words that come out your mouth have power. And if you keep telling yourself you ain't nothing, you ain't gonna have nothing, you never gonna be nothing, you shall have what you say. But if you say, I ain't got to worry about a damn thing. Why? Not because I'm rich, but because, see, you got to change your wordsmith vocabulary. See, I have never been rich, but I am quite wealthy. Hold it. And sometimes you got to disseminate the meaning of words because a lot of y'all trying to get rich or die trying. I ain't never trying to get rich. But guess what? I want to be wealthy beyond my largest imagination because there's a difference between riches and wealth. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. They got me, Sean. Oh, wait a minute. Because understand, there was a rich ruler in this book. There's a story about a rich ruler in this book that wanted the wealth of a man called Yahweh. See, y'all call him Jesus, but Yahweh in this book, Yahweh in this book was a wealthy individual because he had more than riches could ever touch. See, riches is material things, and material things, just like the pyramids, and just like, okay, that's just like y'all believing these. See, guess what? Y'all need to stop making the ops super ops, because that's what y'all do. I've been to Egypt. I've seen the pyramids of Giza. I've seen the Sphinx. And let me say something. Y'all need to stop telling that lie that Napoleon knocked the Sphinx nose off because the Sphinx nose looked black. Napoleon ain't that bad of a dude to knock the nose off of the Sphinx. He didn't do it. So y'all stop telling that lie, since y'all want to talk about people lying. See, that's y'all problem. Y'all try to make white folks look like they super white folks. That's why y'all scared of them, because y'all believe that they can leap a building in a single bound. Y'all believe that they're faster than a locomotive. But see, here's the thing. They can't outrun you. Ask Jesse Owens. Oh, I went somewhere, Sean. They can't outrun you. Ask Jesse Owens, who went to their backyard in the Berlin Olympics during a time where the man who a lot of y'all right now on the low is worshiping, especially white folks. Y'all love Hitler. Y'all actually saying, man, I wish we could have did it like he did it. Because that's what y'all trying to do right now with black and brown folks. Some of these Operation Swamp Sweep, better known as SS. Okay. All I got to say is the following. Stop making the ops super ops, because they not. Start telling your children, you come from George Washington Carver. You come from Eli McCoy. That's why they call it the real McCoy. See, y'all too busy trying to tell them about Donald Trump. Man, Donald Trump a G. Look at him. He the president, done fought these felonies, and look how he hustled. He used to be good with Jay-Z and all. Man, listen, I'm not going to tell you, don't get me wrong, I got all the respect in the world for Jay-Z, Beyonce, and all these entertainers. But I'm going to tell you about Elijah McCoy. I'm going to tell you about George Washington Carver. I'm going to tell you about Shirley Chisholm. I'm going to tell you about Miss Bethune. I'm going to tell you about some folk who, guess what, did not only elevate themselves, but elevated everyone around. Brother Sean.
I'm telling you, man, we gotta stop even using the phrase about their supremacy. I'll put it like that. They're not supreme.
Right.
We gotta stop talking about the supremacy. What supremacy of what?
Right.
They're not supreme, bro. Like you said, we gotta do the reprogramming, the rewiring, the reteaching.
That part. All right, y'all. 1 minute to the top of the hour. Tomorrow, we gonna do the Wang Dang Doodle all night long. That's all I can say. Tomorrow, we're gonna do the Wang Dang Doodle all night long. Tomorrow will be Sean P's birthday. Sean, I'm gonna let you close out. Tell them about the Griot podcast. Tell them about the Sean P experience. Tell them what you got going, brother. Tell them about what's coming up. And listen, support this brother. Support everything he does. If you have not liked, subscribed, if you have not clicked on to, go there now and be a part of this movement to read. Reading is fundamental. Guess what? They always say you want to hide something from black folks, put it in print. They will miss it. Prove them wrong. Sean P., the floor is yours.
Yes, sir, man. Today at 6:00 p.m., we got the sister Dr. Ashley coming on talking about Mary McLeod Bethune, the Pan-Africanist. Well done scholarship on this work. Heavily documented, a lot of sources. You don't want to miss it. The Griot Podcast, we just celebrated our 1 year anniversary of the magazine, the Aceli magazine, black owned, black operated. Every contributor in the magazine is a black or brown person. Episode now on YouTube right now. Don't miss it. The Griot Podcast. You can holler at that, man. And I'll be here tomorrow celebrating 44 years of life. 44 years. I'm so proud about that. See y'all tomorrow. We're gonna celebrate together, man.
That part. My man Sean P. and the Sean P. experience. Tomorrow we're gonna be tipping on fofos, walking on fofos. That's for my boy Mike. Who? Mike. Mike Joe, and Slim Thugger. Okay, listen, man. I'm 58. I done been. Listen, don't think for 1 minute. I know the Isley Brothers, Earth, Wind, and Fire. I might not know all Little Baby and all this, and I'm still trying to get NBA YoungBoy to understand what's really going on. But I'm there. I'm listening and I'm understanding. Sean P and the Sean P Experience. Everybody who's a part of this thing, called hashtag Truth Be Told, JD Live. Much love to y'all. Tomorrow also, I've been talking to Sister Jax. We're going to talk about some stuff that Red Man is doing, some projects that she's been doing with Red Man that has a lot to do with, we were talking today about, pimping on different levels, about what's going on with sex trafficking. That's big. That's big. That's huge. I'm a big advocate against sex trafficking, against crimes against nature, and the exploitation of these children. That part. All right, family, time for me to get up out of here. 2 minutes past the hour. Remember, be better today than you were yesterday. And do something today to bless somebody somewhere. And no matter what you do, there's no earthly way they could ever pay you. And always remember that there is no secret. What God can do, what he has done for others, he willingly can do for you. For what God is with you, nothing or no one can stand against you. Be blessed. Have a great day. We up out of here. Peace.